violence.
Rugby's like what the Europeans play, right?
You might want to ask someone else. I don't know anything.
A ball that's a little bit more rectangular and a little bit more squishy than a football, and they wear these weird helmets. You play it on a field. It's shaped like a football.
I know it's a very intense sport and a lot of people get hurt.
Then it's a really, really scary sport, and it's kind of like football, except a lot of people get hurt.
Nothing.
Rugby is like football, and you can like pick it up, you can kick it, right? No. Yeah.
Played in Australia.
We play it overseas. Rugby? That's like Australian football.
And don't they wear like those little like water polo helmets, or is that just water polo?
Rugby and football may seem similar, but there are a few very important rules to remember. For one thing, rugby play is continuous. As soon as someone's tackled, they roll the ball out from under them and play continues. Also, there's no blocking in rugby. Only the person who has the ball is allowed to be tackled. Finally, when playing rugby, there's no limit to the number of passes you're allowed to make, but you're not allowed to pass the ball forward, only backwards. For this reason, there's no designated quarterback to pass the ball forwards.
The rugby playing field is similar to a football field. It's rectangular and has two zones, one at each end of the field, in which players can score points. The rugby playing field also has 4 flexible poles, one at each area where the zone meets the sidelines, and which mark out of bounds, and they're there to make it easier for players to see where the end zones are. The try line, or the goal line, is the line inside the field after the end zone. The dead ball line and the touch lines mark out of bounds at each side of the field. The area in which points can be scored is called the in-goal area. Those H-shaped things are another area where players can kick the ball through in order to score points. The rugby playing field is the same size as a football field and has one line that goes all the way across in the middle, marked 50 yards. It also has other lines going through, periodically 10 yards apart. The entire area in between the in-goal areas and the touchline is named as the playing area, and any ball in there is considered to be playable. Rugby players are positioned in a way similar to this. The reason that the players go in a diagonal line is because they are only allowed to pass the ball backwards, never forwards. There are also 8 players in the front who are in what is called a scrum in rugby.
The rugby scrum looks something like this, with players from each opposing team pushing for the ball. Rugby scoring is a little bit confusing. A try, which is worth 5 points, is scored when the offensive team touches the rugby ball down in the in-goal area. After scoring a try, the team has the opportunity to earn 2 additional points by either place kicking or drop kicking the rugby ball through the opposing team's uprights, or field goals to the football world. Another way to score points is through a drop goal, which is when a player can attempt to drop kick the ball through the uprights at any point during the game. A drop goal is worth 3 points. Finally, the penalty kick, which is also worth 3 points, can be kicked whenever there's a penalty on the opposing team. These are either drop kicks or place kicks through the opposing team's uprights. The Rugby World Cup, which is held every 4 years, will be held in 2015 in England. Some teams have already qualified, such as the European teams France, England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and Italy. Some teams, however, are still trying to qualify, like Netherlands, Switzerland, Sweden, and Poland. In 2015, make sure you check out the Rugby World Cup. It has teams from Australia, Europe, Asia, and even the Americas. Yep, that's right, the US is trying to qualify a team for the Rugby World Cup. Even if it isn't quite such a big deal here in America, it is all across the world, and this phenomenon known as rugby is definitely a must-see, at least once in your life.